The Role of African Soldiers in WWII. A gentle bedtime story of courage and quiet heroes. Long ago, when the world was shaken by the great storm of World War II, battles were fought across Europe, Asia, and the vast oceans. But there is a part of the story that is not always told at bedtime. The story of African soldiers. Tonight, we will tell it softly. Called from home. In villages across Africa, from West Africa's warm coast to East Africa's highlands, young men heard the call to serve. Some were farmers. Some were teachers. Some were sons who had never traveled beyond their towns. They became part of regiments like the King's African Rifles in East Africa and the Royal West African Frontier Force in West Africa. Though far from the main headlines of history, they wore uniforms, carried heavy packs, and stepped into a global war. Fighting in distant lands, African soldiers fought bravely in many places. In East Africa, they helped push back invading forces. In Burma, now Myanmar, they marched through thick jungles facing heat, rain, and hardship. In North Africa, some supported Allied campaigns in the desert. They walked for miles under the hot sun. They crossed rivers and mountains. They endured hunger and homesickness. Yet they stood firm. Brotherhood in battle. What kept them going? Friendship. Courage. Hope. They shared stories of home around small fires at night. They sang songs from their villages. They reminded each other why they had to stay strong. Though many had been recruited under colonial rule, their bravery was real. Their sacrifices were real. Their contributions mattered. Returning home. When the war finally ended in 1945, many African soldiers returned home changed. They had seen the world. They had seen injustice. They had seen the power of unity. Some would later become voices for independence in their own countries. Their wartime experiences helped inspire movements that eventually led many African nations toward freedom. A quiet legacy. The story of World War II often focuses on famous generals and great battles. But tonight, we remember the quiet heroes, the African soldiers whose names may not appear in every history book, yet whose footprints remain across continents. Their courage reminds us that bravery is not about fame. It is about standing firm when the world shakes.